Hello students, I hope you all are fine and healthy. We are reading chapter number 17, Forest, our Lifeline. In our previous video, we read about what is forest, what are the components of forest and how the components of a forest are interdependent on each other. Today we will learn about the structure of a forest. The branchy part of a tree above the stem. It is known as the crown of a tree. Crown of a tree means the branchy part that is above the stem. The crown includes the top part or the upper part of the tree which has all the branches and leaves of a tree. Different types of trees have different types of crowns which have different shapes, sizes. The major functions of the crown of a tree are to absorb the carbon dioxide, to carry out photosynthesis, release the oxygen in air, and to carry out the respiration and the process of transpiration. All these functions are performed by the leaves of the crown. The crown of tall trees forms a green cover over the forest land. The crown of trees shade the forest floor. The trees and plants of different heights create different horizontal layers in the forest. So a forest consists of different horizontal layers of vegetation, means a forest is having different horizontal layers of plants and trees. Scientists divide a forest into 5 layers or 5 zones of vegetation. The 5 layers of vegetation in a forest starting from top and going down are: first is canopy, understory, then shrub layer, herb layer and the forest floor. So on the top canopy is there, then understory, then shrub layer, then herb layer and the bottom one is the forest floor. The amount of sunlight that is available in each of these layers, it decides which of the plant will grow and survive in that layer. Let's learn about these layers. So first of all, let us learn about the canopy. In a forest, the branches and leaves of a tall tree forms a kind of roof or umbrella over the small trees of the forest. The uppermost branches and leaves of the tall trees, which forms a roof over the forest ground, they are known as canopy. Canopy means the uppermost branches and leaves of the tall tree that forms a kind of roof over the smaller trees that are known as the canopy. The upper part of the crowns of all the tall trees make a canopy in the forest. The upper part of the crowns of tall trees in the forest makes a canopy. Canopy is made by the top part of the crown of tall trees. Canopy is the highest layer of vegetation in a forest. Less than 50% of the sunlight falling on the top of the forest can pass through the canopy and reach the plants that grows below the canopy. The canopy of forest is full of various types of animals like insects, birds, reptiles, mammals, etc. Now the second layer is understory, the layer of vegetation in the forest that is just below the canopy. It is known as the understory. The understory layer consists of smaller trees. The sunlight available in the understory layer is comparatively much lesser than the canopy. The smaller trees found in the understory, they grow to become bigger trees only when the tall trees die and open gaps in the canopy which can provide more sunlight to the smaller trees that is required for their further growth. The layer of vegetation in a forest which is just below the understory, it is known as the shrub layer. The shrub layer mainly consists of mature shrubs and bushes. The shrub layer has a smaller vegetation which has a height between 1 meters to 2 meters from the forest floor. The animals such as bear and deer, they obtain a large amount of food from the shrub layer of the vegetation. Many of the shrubs that are found in the forest, they depend on the animals for the dispersal of their seeds, and in the shrub layer there is not much sunlight available. The layer of vegetation in a forest which is just below the shrub layer, it is known as herb layer. The herb layer mainly consists of herbs, grasses and ferns. The herb layer is the lowest layer of vegetation in the forest which is having a leafy plants. The height of vegetation in the herb layer is very less. It ranges from the forest floor to 1 meters in height. Very little sunlight remains for the plants that are in the herb layer, and the life cycle of the plants in the herb layer, it is very short. The ground surface of the forest, it is known as the forest floor. The forest floor has many leafless plants such as mosses, liverworts and lichens, etc. The large animals in the forest such as tigers, lions, elephants, deer, bear, etc. they live on the forest floor. The forest floor also has a large variety of insects and worms. The decomposer organisms such as bacteria and fungi, they are also present on the forest floor. The forest floor is covered with the dead decaying plant matter, decaying animal matter and the animal waste. The decomposer organisms help in maintaining the supply of nutrients to the trees and the other plants in the forest. So now we will learn about the importance of forest. Forests provide us a large number of products which we use in our daily life. Forests also have a great effect on air quality, water supply, soil and climate. That's why the forests are also known as our lifeline. The various things which we obtain from the forest, they are known as the forest products. Forests provide us a large number of useful products such as gum, sealing wax, honey, caoutchouc, spices, etc. The most important product that is obtained from the forest, it is wood, and the wood is obtained by cutting down the forest trees. The wood obtained by cutting of the forest is used for various purposes in our day-to-day life. Forests also maintain the balance between the carbon dioxide and oxygen in the atmosphere. The human beings and the other animals gives out carbon dioxide during the respiration which goes into the atmosphere, and the burning of fuel in homes, factories and industries. It also produces carbon dioxide which goes in the atmosphere. The green plants and trees, they absorb the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere for making their food by the process of photosynthesis. So in this way, the plants and the trees, they reduce the amount of carbon dioxide that is available in the atmosphere. The green plants and trees, they also release oxygen during the photosynthesis. So forests are the major suppliers of the oxygen that is required by the human beings and other animals for respiration and breathing. Since green plants and trees, they supply oxygen for breathing and respiration, that's why the forests are also known as green lungs. So the forest remove the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and they put oxygen in the atmosphere. So in this way, the forest maintain the balance between the carbon dioxide and oxygen in the atmosphere. By removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, the plants stop the carbon dioxide level from reaching too high. Now this is very important because carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas which absorbs the heat. High levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere can absorb a large amount of heat from the sun rays, which can lead to global warming. And deforestation is increasing the amount of carbon dioxide slowly in the atmosphere. The increasing amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is absorbing more and more heat from the sun rays, which is leading to global warming, or we can say that it is increasing the temperature of Earth. The forests help in maintaining the water cycle in nature. The forest trees suck water from the soil through their roots and release water vapors in the air through the process of transpiration. These water vapors help in the formation of clouds and bring rains on the earth. Deforestation leads to decrease in rainfall. When there are lesser number of trees in the forest, so lesser amount of water vapors are released in the atmosphere, due to which the less rainfall occurs. And because of less rainfall, the less number of new trees grows in the forest, and this process is repeated again and again, and the area which was once having a thick forest can become a desert having no vegetation at all. Forests keep the climate cool. The clouds formed by the water vapors going into the atmosphere through the transpiration of water from the forest reflects away some of the sun rays and keeps the region comparatively cool and humid. Forests also prevent the soil erosion, the removal of top fertile soil from a region, either by the rain, water, or wind, is called soil erosion. Soil erosion can change a fertile land into a desert. The roots of the plants and the trees that grows in the forest, it binds the soil particles and keeps them together. Due to the binding of soil particles, the strong winds and flowing rainwater are not able to carry away the topsoil, and hence the soil erosion is prevented. The canopy, that is the cover of the trees and many layers of vegetation in the forest, they decreases the effect of the rain on the soil, due to which the soil does not become loose, and hence the soil erosion is prevented. The forest also prevent occurrence of floods. Forest floor is covered with a lot of decaying material and small vegetation, due to which it works like a giant sponge which absorbs most of the rainwater which falls during the heavy rain. The roots of the trees and plants help this rainwater to seep into the ground and increase the water table. The forest releases this rainwater slowly and regularly into the rivers through the soil. In this way, the forest not only prevents the flood, but they also helps in maintaining the supply of water in the rivers throughout the year. The forest also provide food and shelter to the wild animals and birds. In the absence of forest, the wild animals and birds, they do not get food and shelter, due to which they either die or they get killed. So cutting down of the forest leads to the loss of many species of birds and animals. The destruction of the forest, it is also leading to the loss of many species of plants from the earth. The forest also provides food and shelter to the forest dwelling people, means it provides the food and shelter to the people who lives in the forest. So these are the importance of the forest. Now we will continue our chapter in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Take care.